Well, welcome everyone. Another episode of Inspiring Stories is episode 12 now, and we are going to be talking about another subject that I've had so much fun resisting, being open to the unexpected. And Cliff, as always, you have another amazing story for us.
Another fun story from my past days of work. I have to take you back. The last story I took you back to when I was working as a young sales rep in New Hampshire, and I have to bring you back to that a little before that story. So I was brought into the office, a very small office, about 4 or 5 sales reps and a manager, and I was the last person to come in. I was transferred in, and I was the youngest in the office. So typically, as a sales rep, when you come into an established office and you're the last one in, you don't get the best of accounts. Let's face it. So I worked very hard, and I was learning my trade and learning how to sell. And the goal was the first year that you were out in the field, it was really important for you to make what they called the Achievement Club, which was the top 10% of the sales reps in the country, actually in the world for them. And as we got down to the last few weeks, it looked like I wasn't going to make it. I was going to end up somewhere around $30,000 short in sales to make the achievement club. And the sad part about it was there was 2 reps that were a little bit older than me, and they were going, and I wasn't going to be there. And so I wasn't feeling too good. And it was the Friday before, or a week before the closing, and on a Friday afternoon, I'm sitting in the office. And as a lot of salespeople do, a lot of them don't stick around on Friday afternoons. They find a good excuse to get out on the golf course or go to out with a customer and celebrate a little bit, especially back in those days. So I'm sitting in the office and the phone rings. This is pre-cell phones. And I pick up the phone, and there's a gentleman on the phone, and he said, I would like to have some pricing on some computer paper. And those were the days of tracked computer paper forms. And I wasn't too excited to take the call because that wasn't going to count towards my sales. It had to be what they call printed items. And so I listened to the man, and he said, well, how many boxes of computer paper do you want? And he said, I'd like to have 100 boxes. I said, man, that's a big order, 100 boxes of computer paper. I mean, that's pallets and pallets of it. And so I began to ask him questions about, what are you using it for, and where are you? And, he was in a little town called Keene, New Hampshire. And I'm thinking, there's no large business really in Keene, New Hampshire. And as I talked to him, he said, no, we're actually a part of a larger insurance company. And we need to run a bunch of reports off. And I said, yeah, no problem. We can get them. We can get them out of the warehouse and get them to you right away. And he liked the price that I gave him over the phone. And so I asked him, I said, well, do you use any printed forms? And he said, as a matter of fact, we do. And I'm about to place a very large order with one of my competitors. And I said, oh, do you think that I could get the opportunity to see what you're using? And he said, well, we got to have these forms right away. He said, you're going to have to come here Monday. Now, this is about an hour and a half away from our office. So come Monday morning, I'm excited because I got an opportunity, and I head out there and I pick up a bunch of forms that we have to price. And I called my boss and I said, I'm coming back to the office right away. We need to get pricing to them to see if we can get these orders. I get back to the office with the forms, and I had a branch manager at the time who was just about, I think, 64 at the time. So he was about a year away from retiring, an old veteran. And he sat down and he helped me work through the pricing of these different forms because they're all custom. And he said, well, it looks like it's going to be around $31,000 for these forms. And we got the order. And so I made it by that one order by picking up the phone on a Friday afternoon when nobody else was around. So I guess the moral of the story is that, be open to the unexpected. And sometimes if you just work hard, keep your head down, things will appear. And that was the catalyst to my whole career with that company.
And just as I started our conversation, be careful not to be resistant to or to create a story in your own mind that says, oh, that couldn't happen, because you are living proof that it absolutely does happen. And I'm sure we'll hear many other stories from our listeners. We look forward to hearing from you, and we'll see you for our next episode of Inspiring Stories.
Thanks, April. No.